صوتي في العادة أنعم من
My voice is softer than this. And David is asking me about the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Trump and the dynamics and transformation of this. It's obvious that Saudi Arabia, especially Mohammed bin Salman, the prince who's leading Saudi Arabia, have invested all in Trump only. And he hopes that Trump is going to be the one who achieves what he himself can't. For example, making Iran leave Syria. For example, dwarfing Iran in the area. I believe, and I might be wrong, that Trump won't be able to do this. The next 2 years, and this is something of importance to all of us, not just for Mohammed bin Salman and Saudi Arabia. If anyone here is researching or trying to find a policy, a strategy in America in the next 2 years, he won't find this. In the next 2 years, Donald Trump will be only defending himself and will be facing the legal consequences of what he had done. To start with, he doesn't have a vision, a strategic vision. If you look for a strategic vision like Eisenhower Doctrine, which is clear, this is something which has had finished even a long time before the time of Trump. The withdrawal of America is real. There are so many articles and reports which have been saying that one of the causes of the diseases of the Middle East and the world is the withdrawal of Americans. Merkel herself is complaining about the withdrawal of Americans. And this is of importance for us. However, Trump, in my belief, has 3 strategies, or we can say policies, not strategies, or intentions, let's say, and they are not complete. And they don't mean that he is going to be successful. The first thing which he has is to end the Palestinian issue. It's clear, we all have seen what he have done lately, and this is costly even for the region. Jordan itself is going to pay for this. However, is he going to be successful in what he has as an intention? Because he doesn't have a team which is strong and he doesn't work within the institution. So he might not succeed. However, he will push forward some policies and might disturb the atmosphere where the next president needs to correct or work on. However, this is a clear thing, which is to end the problems of the Palestinians. The second is to stop refugees, especially if they were Muslims. He's clear about this, and this has an impact on us. And one of the details is that he is classifying Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, and to stop the asylum from a number of 7 Muslim countries. This is all in the side of the negative position of Muslims. The third policy, which has been affecting everyone, is an open policy, which is a policy which is saying, pay me. Pay me and I will do. Pay me and I will stay in Syria. Pay me and I will help you in Yemen. Pay, and etc., etc., and everything. All the activities are under this umbrella. Some governors are using this. I know that some of you might disagree with me and would say that America has always a strategy, because this is our old impression which we have inherited from Eisenhower, from the times when America was strong. Someone would say, no, Americans' existence in the east of Euphrates is part of their plan to pressure Turkey and etc. No, that's not true. I believe their existence is something which they inherited. If it was for Trump, he would have withdrawn from the east of Euphrates. However, some of the regional forces want him to stay there. They paid him to stay, and he had announced this clearly, that Saudis have paid $100 million, and others, Haley, the spokesperson, has said in the UN that our allies in Saudi and the Gulf have paid more than we expected. Is this a policy for America to be in the east of the Euphrates to support Kurds? I don't believe that. I believe that the Pentagon have inherited this because there was a mistake which was done by the Syrians when the Americans were looking for an ally to fight Daesh. The Syrians have said, we are not going to do this. The Kurds have jumped in, and this is why there is an alliance. This was not the cause of a strategy. It was the moment's rebirth. It is not the life of the word of Eisenhower or strategy. He's working only for mere interests, pay and I'll protect. The only protection of the American administration is the second row of intelligence and of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They are the ones who are doing some kind of planning. The issue of Gulf and the Qatar, the ones who have stopped this from exploding is the employees of the CIA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They are the ones who harnessed some of the this power of Trump. If it was for Trump, he would have announced them tomorrow in a Twitter statement, not because he knows them or he doesn't know them, but because he's ready to believe anything bad about Islam. So what if it was something coming from another Muslim? Some Muslims now are volunteering to go to the American administration and say brotherhood is bad. And they are the ones who are spreading the seeds of terrorism, and this is in the direction of his liking and is in harmony with his small information about the area. But this is something which he cannot do. He cannot separate brotherhood or thank them the way that he thanks an employee he has. However, if it was for him, he would. That's why we shall not diminish or minimize the importance of such news. I would focus on this, and I will call all of us, or the Islamic movement shall work in two directions. The first is to have something which will change the game. Something will happen from inside, something which will be part of the errors of the tyrannies, and this is going to be in the benefit of the group Islamists. Nothing is going to happen in the area because of a plan from outside. It will happen because of the errors and mistakes of the tyrannical regimes. This is the only bet we have. The second alternative is that nothing will happen. And I believe that this is also a possibility because of the withdrawal of America and the theory and just of withdrawal, and to be careful about being in Euphrates, and also the French-Italian issue, and all those are just small things, and they are not forming a big policy. In each cases, I suggest the movement shall do one, to reform the tense relationship between them and between the other national movements. To admit, second, that they need to develop. The movement develop when there is freedom. When you are in the diaspora, you might not do that. But I believe this is a mistake. You need to seize the opportunity, and while you are in the diaspora, while you have problems, you need to have an initiative of development and benefiting from the others. And from the discussion which we heard about the brothers' difference in Tunisia and other places, is something in Egypt. The Brotherhood of Egypt needs to start the evolution as well. Third, we need to have a discussion with the Salafis. They have affected the Islamic movement. They've mutilated it, and they become under the umbrella of tyranny. And sometimes the reformist movement is being held responsible for the acts of the Salafis. Sometimes the reformists are being held responsible for the Salafists' actions. We need to seek to protect our internal members. There is an erosion of the members of the movement. Some people are leaving it, some people are withdrawing, some people are even leaving religion. 5, we need to have a program to draw the attention of the world to the Arab problems. Now the problem is not only the problem of the Islamic movement. The Islamic and the Arab world is being fractured. This is something which we need to say to the West. We need to say, look at the bad situation of the Arab world. 6, we need to adopt the theory of democracy is the solution. The Islamic movement is going to win when they have the hearts and minds of people. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they were trying to gain the sympathy of people, and they have done this with the leftists and other movements. Now, what is an obstacle between them and between practicing a role is democracy. If democracy is there, 100%, the movement will have a place in Egypt, regardless of all the bad media and the PR against it. It's either you are in they are going to be either part of the government of Egypt or Syria. So the battle is a battle of democracy, neither for Sharia or the movement, it's for democracy. To resist the classification of brotherhood in 2 ways: to communicate with the West and not to commit mistakes at the same time. 7, to regain the initiative in the social media, especially. The social media is now the battleground. It was seized by the regimes. One of the nice things, or the funny things, is that when the Arab Spring have started, there was a joke that Abdullah had asked, what is Facebook? They said it is what the youth have used to have a revolution. He said, okay, let's buy it. It seems that in reality this happened. They did not buy it, but they have established their electronic armies and bots, and they now know how to use the media. And they're doing that. To be true, they have controlled the social media. That's why the forces of change need to take back the initiative in this battleground. It's no more the TV or the books or the magazines or the articles written by researchers, but it's a video which is 1.5 minutes or a Twitter message of 140 characters. Thank you.